Okay, so we are solving quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. Okay, so this is a continuation of yesterday's lesson. So here is our quadratic formula right here. Okay, and here is a quadratic equation. Here's my A, here's my B, here's my C. Okay, write these down once you have done that. Okay, so A is equal to 4. And it's just the number in front of the variables, okay? Your A is not 4x squared. Your B is not negative 12x. It's just the number in front of it, okay? So A is equal to 4. What's my B equal to? Negative 12. And my C is equal to 9. Okay, now that I've identified my A, B, and C values, I'm going to put it into the quadratic equation. Okay, so x is equal to, let's just let it have a moment. There we go. X is equal to negative B, so negative 12, plus or minus the square root of B squared, which is negative 12 squared, minus 4 times A, which is 4, times C, which is 9. All of that is divided by 2 times A, which is 4, right? Okay?
One question, what does the plus and minus mean? Like, how would, like, are we going to have to type this into a calculator?
No, you will be using your own math to help solve this, okay? The plus or minus means that, so any time that you take the square root of a number, you're going to get a positive and a negative solution,
Oh, okay.
right? Because if you do negative 3 squared is equal to 9, right? Negative times a negative is a positive. And 3 squared is equal to 9 as well, right? So the square root of 9 is going to equal positive or negative 3.
Oh, okay.
Anytime you take the square root of a number, you get a positive and a negative value. Okay? Good question. Okay, so now let's just simplify, okay? So you guys are writing this in your notes? Are you doing this along with me?
Yeah.
Where do you get this one?
This one?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's the 3
Like, you
2.
want us to
Oh
do
my
it?
gosh. Okay. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Okay, let's do this one. Sorry. A, B, C. So my A value is 2. My B value is what?
Negative 5.
-5. And my C value is positive 10. Okay? So now we've identified A, B, and C. Let's put it into our quadratic formula. So x is equal to negative, what my B is, so negative times negative 5, plus or minus the square root of B squared. So negative 5 squared minus 4 times A times C. All divided by 2A. So 2 times 2. Now we need to simplify this. Okay? So, negative times negative 5 is positive 5, plus or minus the square root of negative 5 squared is 25, minus 4 times 2 is 8, times 10 is 80, yeah, perfect. All divided by 2 times 2, which is 4. So I'm going to simplify what's inside the square roots right now. So 5 plus minus the square root of negative 55.
How'd you get 55 again? Like 5 times
80, 80, that's what
25 minus
Oh.
80.
Okay.
25 minus 80. And we get a negative number here. Somebody try to take the negative of the square root. Or the square root of a negative number.
You wouldn't
I'm
get
not
any
sure how to
getting.
square root on this.
Yeah, we can't get it, right? So, you can't take the square root of it.
Square.
You can't take the square root of a negative number. Okay? So, if you can't take the square root of a negative number, then there are no solutions. So I'm just going to make a note. You cannot take the square root of a negative number. Okay? You cannot take the square root of a negative number. So if you get a negative value underneath your square root sign, it means we have no solutions. Okay? So if there are no solutions, how many x-intercepts are there? 0. Okay, good. No solutions, therefore no x-intercepts. Okay? If you ever get that, taking the square root of a negative number, it means there are no solutions or no x-intercepts. Okay? Does that make sense? So when you're doing this, one, you guys have to be really careful, especially with this 4AC in here, right? Just be careful with that because you have a negative out in front. So if you multiply these three numbers together and one of them are a negative, you're going to be subtracting a negative, which is the same thing as adding, right? Subtracting a negative number is the same thing as adding, right? So just be careful with that. And this negative, just be, whatever's under your square root, just be careful with it, okay? Don't rush through that calculation. It's important.
For the 25 and 80, did you go 5, negative 5, like negative 5, or whatever squared? Yeah.
Yep, negative 5 squared is 25. And 4 times 2 is 8. Times 10 is 80.
Okay.
Okay, and then 25 minus 80 is negative 55.
I hope it's better than the other stuff.
Okay, that's great. But that other stuff is not going away.
Not
Okay,
yet.
you still need to learn it. Okay, that is on tomorrow's quiz. Okay, 5x squared plus 3 is equal to 10x. What must our quadratic equation be in before we can use the quadratic formula?
Negative.
No.
Equal to 0.
Standard form and equal to 0. Okay? And we want to have a positive a if possible. So am I going to get rid of the 5x squared and plus 3 from the right side?
No, you're going to subtract the 10x.
Good. I'm going to subtract the 10x. Okay, so that goes away. Now we'll have 0. And make sure you write this from highest degree to lowest degree, right? Because if you write it like 5x squared plus 3 minus 10x, your a and your c and your b value is all messed up. Right? So write it in the highest degree to lowest degree. Okay? So 5x squared minus 10x plus 3. So my a value is what?
5.
Yep, my b value
Negative 10.
and my c value
3.
3. Okay, now we'll go to the quadratic formula. X is equal to negative b, so negative times negative 10, plus minus the square root of b squared, so negative 10 squared, minus 4, which is always there, times a, which is 5, and my c is 3. All divided by 2 times my a value, which is 5. Okay, now we need to simplify. Okay, so x, so negative 10 multiplied by 10 is 10, positive. Okay, plus or minus the square root of negative 10 squared So negative 10 times negative 10 is 100 minus 4 times 5 is 20 times 3 is 60. So 100 minus 60 divided by 10. Okay, so far so good? Okay, so x equals 10 plus minus the square root of 100 minus 60 is 40.
See you, Mr. Jones.
See you later. Make sure you practice for tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, I'll look over that.
Not gonna give another free pass. Divided by 10. Okay, so for this one here, simplifying radicals is part of 10C, which would have been a COVID unit for you guys probably.
It wasn't for me.
It was for some of us, okay.
I didn't even do,
Sorry?
I didn't even do 10.
Okay, so we don't know how to do this. So,
What though? That?
yeah, so if you take the square root of 40, you're not gonna get a nice number, right? It'll be like 6.3-ish. Okay, so when you are solving it, I am okay if you guys don't simplify your radicals, okay? Because we will practice more with that in the actual radical unit itself, okay? So, so remember when you asked earlier, what's up with the positive and the negative, right? So now we have two solutions, right? Two solutions, so means how many roots do we have? 2, yeah, good. Okay, and we have two different scenarios. One where we're going to have 10 plus root 40 divided by 10, and the other root is going to be 10 minus root 40 divided by 10. Okay? So, let's do our positive one first. So we have 10 plus root 40 divided by 10. And then over here, we have 10 minus root 40 divided by 10. Plus square root of 40 divided by 10. So for this one, I get 1.63. And the other one, 10 minus root 40 divided by 10, gives me 0.37. Okay, so at this point, once you've solved that, you go x equals 0.37 and 1.63. Okay, you need to present your answer. Okay, if you stop at this point right here, I mean, you need to tell me that you are done the question, so that's what the box is for, right? And it also helps me separate the wheat from the chaff, so to speak, right? So there's just a bunch of stuff going on there. Sometimes it's hard to know what's going on in students' assignments, right? So adding boxes is good. Okay, I'm gonna skip this one for now, and I'm gonna jump to this one. Okay, so this is a maximization problem. So a store rents an average of 750 games each month at the current rate of $4.50. So remember, anytime we have maximization, we have price multiplied by revenue. Okay, so my price is $4.50, and he's trying to maximize their money, right? So he wants to increase the price by $1. But each time they do that, they're going to rent 30 fewer games each month, right? So here's our equation right here. 4.5 plus P multiplied by 750 minus 30P, right? Does this sound familiar from our maximization stuff?
Yep.
Okay, good. So, using the quadratic formula, so we want to know if they can generate a revenue of $7,000 per month. So this is, so X is going to be price increases. And on my Y is going to be my revenue. This question is asking, will my money ever make it to $7,000? That's what it's going to look like, right? But we don't necessarily know if those lines are going to intersect, right? Because it's the beginning of the problem. But this is kind of just our setup, right? This is a maximization parabola, which we've seen before. And we want to know if we can ever make $7,000 per month. Okay? So my Y, this is the Y value, right? Right? It's a horizontal line. So we're trying to see if this quadratic equation right here will ever equal 7,000. Okay? What must I have if I want to use the quadratic formula? Like, how must my equation be set up? Do I want it in vertex form? No? Do I want it in factored form?
Wouldn't you want it in standard?
I sure would. I would love it in standard form. So, it has to be like this.
4.5x squared?
But what does it also need to be equal to?
0.
0. Are we equal to 0 here? No. So we need to do a little bit of work, right?
Minus 1,000. Right?
Well, yeah, you're going to do that eventually, right? But is this in standard form right here?
No, it's in factor.
Yeah, right? So how are we going to turn it from from factored form into standard form? No? We can distribute, we can just multiply these two brackets together. Okay, you guys need to know that. Okay? To go from factored form to standard form, just multiply your brackets together.
Is it that line thing?
Yeah, the line thingy. I call it the FOIL. First, outside, inside, last. Yeah, it is the line thingy. Right? Okay, so if we do that, and I'm just going to grab this because I don't want to do all the calculations. But first thing we're going to do is 4.5 times 750. That will give us, so we have 7,000. We're just going to leave that alone for now. So 4.5 times 750 is 3,375. And then 4.5 times 30p is negative 135p. And then I'm going to have plus 750p. And then my last one, p times negative 30p, will give me negative 30p squared. Are we okay?
Yep.
We just expanded, right? That's it. Or we did the line thingy.
Yeah.
Whatever helps you remember it. Okay, so let's simplify this. Okay, so 7,000 is equal to 3,375. 750p minus 135p will give me plus 615p. And we still have negative 30p squared. Almost there. What do I need to do?
get rid of the 7,000 now.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you get the 615?
He
Um,
added.
Yeah, 750p minus 135p
Oh,
goes to 615p. Yeah, you combine like terms when you can, right? Okay, so yeah, so like Logan said, we will get rid of that 7,000 by subtracting 7,000 from each side. Now I have 0 is equal to 7,000 or 3,375 minus 7,000 is equal to negative 3,625 plus 615p minus 30p squared. Okay, we're in standard form. So how should I arrange my formula?
squared, then P, then the last number.
Perfect. Okay, from highest degree to lowest degree, right? You bet. So 0 is equal to negative 30p squared plus 615p minus 3,625. Okay, so now what's our A, what's our B, what's our C? I know we're going to get really big numbers for this.
Oh god.
That's okay. That's okay. We have calculator for that, right? So no worries. So A is equal to negative 30. B is equal to 615. And C is equal to negative 3,625. I can put this into the quadratic equation, which is, well,
Negative B plus
Yeah.
minus.
perfect. So x is equal to negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So x is equal to negative 615 plus minus the square root of b squared, so 615 squared, minus 4 times a, which is negative 30, times c, which is negative 3,625. All divided by 2 times negative 30. How are we doing? Okay, so negative times 615, x is equal to negative 615, plus or minus the square root. 615 squared is 378,225
Oh god.
minus 435,000. All divided by negative 60. You guys are going to like this next one. And I mean that. So x is equal to negative 615. Now I'm just going to simplify what's in the square roots. And I get negative 56,775 divided by negative 60. Why did I say you guys are going to like this stuff?
I don't know.
It's a negative and it's no solution.
Yeah, because it's a negative, right? We cannot take the negative, or a
Oh,
square root
yes,
of a
last
negative
word.
number. Yeah.
Let's go!
When it gets to the second step, what do you do with the 615 and then like the top? Yeah, that.
That's right here.
Yeah, do you add that into your calculator when you're doing that?
No, leave it outside.
Oh, okay.
Leave it out. Yeah, so I'm just kind of leaving it, like multiply your negative in, right? But just leave that alone for now. Because I left out my plus minus on that one. But don't. Okay? So, anytime that you get a negative number underneath your square root, that means, well, it could, yeah, it means no solution, or it could mean that you have made a mistake maybe. You guys don't make mistakes. Okay? So, no solution. Therefore what?
Therefore,
We went.
No X intercepts.
No x-intercepts, right? Just hang on for a sec, guys. Okay, no x-intercepts. So, but what were we actually asked for in this question?
Will they make 7,000?
Will they make 7,000, right? And we manipulated this, right?
No.
So that it is part of our quadratic equation. And if there are no x-intercepts, will we reach that $7,000 mark? No. Okay, no x-intercepts. Okay, therefore, he will not,
Holy hell, that was so long.
will not make $7,000. Okay?